Here's Brody Brazil.
Hey, give me an idea of just this process. I guess somewhere in my life I never learned about Nevada politics or government.
That's okay.
I'm a California guy.
So am I.
Yeah, Los Angeles, right?
Yep.
All right. So public funding would require an assembly bill, and that would have to be introduced by somebody. Then there would have to be a vote on that. I'm curious about the votes it needs, if there's a percentage or if it's a majority. And then I'm wondering, I've listed everything here. And then if there's a public comment period, and like you said, how quick all this could go. So that's a lot of questions. Maybe try and outline the process of what would have to happen here, start to finish.
I'll give you my rudimentary opinion. I wish Tabitha was with me here because she can explain it better.
Okay.
Because this is actually, I've been in town 40 years. This is my first time really covering the legislative process on something.
Got it. Okay.
I cover gaming and I've covered sports and all that.
Right.
It'd be a hearing, a committee hearing would handle it. And then it has to be passed out of the committee. And which would be most likely, then it goes in front of the entire House, which most likely be the assembly.
Right.
Assembly is it's a simple majority. It's basically tax neutral because it's not a change in tax structure. It's a tax district.
Right.
So that's how they'll get around that. That's what they're getting around with this production company.
With Sony, right? Yeah.
This facility. So. That's all it needs. If it passes out of the assembly, it goes to the Senate. Senate committee would have a hearing on it, and then it goes to the full Senate. And then if they approve it without any changes, it goes to the governor for signature.
Is it introduced by a single person? Is it at least brought to the table, presented officially?
No, I don't know. It's usually one. It's usually the bill is backed by at least one assembly member. Sometimes it'll be a couple. I don't know that part. That's what it looks like will be. And because it's finance, it would go to the assembly. So yeah, we're just trying to see where this is all going to play out.
You know, we obviously witnessed years of a process here to get the Howard Terminal site to where it was. And there were, I kid you not, hours of public commentary. And that's fine. I mean, that's due process. It's part of it. Some of it is a bit fatiguing for and against, to be honest with you. I'm curious, though, in this case, I mean, for those who really support this or those who are totally against it, is there even the ability for the public to have their say on it before legislators do what they do?
Exactly. There is. I should have mentioned that in our law, we have public comment.
Okay.
Public comment session. And in the legislature, it's after it's in the committee process.
Okay.
So they will the way because I've been watching it on several other bills that they've come through.
Right.
The proponents will make an introduction. Then you introduce the bill. There'll be a whole bunch of people coming in support of it, and then those opposed will have a chance to speak. And then there's public comment section. So it's a process. Everybody has a chance to weigh in. And so that's why I don't see this happening in a day.
Okay. Right.
It's going to drag out. So but then there is a chance for the public to comment. They always have
Got it. And then my other question would be, this would be an assembly bill, right? That gets.
That was my understanding.
Yeah.
And that was Tabitha told me it was an assembly bill.
Yeah.
And that's our understanding. That's what I think will go in that way.
So I don't know if you're certain on this or not, but is there any way an assembly bill is passed, and then is there any other public way that it would be reversed or delayed? Is there anything with a vote or the next election cycle? Like, once it's done, is it done, or is there anything that could jeopardize it?
It seems like it would be done once the governor signs it. Then it's done.
Okay.
Assembly, the only thing that could kind of extend the process is the assembly passes the bill, but then it goes to the Senate, and then the Senate makes some changes to it.
Right.
And it has to go back to the assembly to approve it. It's very similar to what goes on in Congress. It has to go back to the other house to approve it. If they make any changes, then the Senate has to approve those changes. But if it goes back, then it goes back to the assembly to approve it, and boom. And that would be the only thing that would delay it if there's some changes made. But I don't know if there would be, at that point.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be everybody will want to extract their pound of flesh somehow and move on. So we'll see.
You're a journalist. I'm definitely not. I'm just, a broadcaster curious about this entire situation. So I'll try and ask this fairly. What is your instinct about, and I know you don't know the language. That's what we're all waiting for.
Right.
If there is even something close to reasonable language, does this pretty much go right on through?
Not without a lot of, arm twisting and, hand wringing and trying. And remember, these are these people up for office. The assembly, they're all the whole assembly's on the ballot every 2 years. So they're up in 2020. What are we at? 2024.
24, right.
Yeah, they're up in 2024. Part of the Senate will be up in 2024. So yeah, they have to go sit in front of voters. So they'll twist and turn and try to figure out how to, vote one way or the other. My gut feeling is if it's gotten this far, if there's actually a bill, then I think I can't imagine, unless something really crazy happens, I think it will get through. I mean, but I don't want to, I've been 50-50 on the whole way. I've been, since this all started. At first, I didn't think it was even a chance. I thought, and others did, that Vegas was being used as the pawn to get Oakland off the schneid and do the stadium there. They really wanted the Howard terminal. Right. That whole. I mean, I saw those plans. It was beautiful.
Oh, I know.
That was beautiful.
I've been on that one for years. I know.
Yeah, I mean, so there was that. But then now Oakland thinks they were pawns and just because the A's always wanted to go to Vegas. We haven't heard from John Fisher, the owner of the A's. He's not been public at all. When the Raiders came through, it was Mark Davis. And you saw Mark Davis everywhere.
He's right. He's a figure. Yes.
Oh, he was there. He was everywhere. We have reports this morning now that you probably heard that Tom Brady may be buying a piece of the Raiders.
I saw that. Yeah.
So surprise. But yeah, so that's the thing. It's been Dave Cavill's been out there as front and center with this. You have the connection in Vegas with the A's because the AAA ball club, the Aviators, the A's AAA team. Most of the Aviators are playing in Oakland this season.
We know that too.
Yeah, so they get a good crowd for the Aviators, and so yeah, I think if it's gone this far, and if they get this bill, the language and everything, the bill through, and the money, the tax package works, you're going to have to make sure the Clark County Commission is agreement with all this too, which I'm sure that's being done now. Then it'll get through. That just seems to be the gut feeling.